talking to a friend because actually I do have like a Dan. I know there's a book mail for you. You know, he has given me plenty of advice actually and let me know about certain things off of a Twitter account. So certain things like that, you know, just pull it right there. What is social media? You know, it's used for business in many ways. We'll have Nate go ahead and start a quick video to give you guys a quick little outline before.
Which one did you want?
Oh, you can do the one that you had on the second.
All right. It's a company, if I remember right, out of Massachusetts called Craft, and they created a video called Social Media in Plain English. And I think it was CNN that picked up and used part of this. So if CNN likes it, I figured you guys might be okay with it.
Social media may be the next big thing. What's it all about? This is Social Media in Plain English. Let's take a visit to Scoopville, a town that's famous for ice cream. For over 20 years, Big Ice Cream Company has been making high-quality ice cream with a big factory in town. A few years back, the company did focus groups and found out that they could maximize profits by offering 3 flavors: chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. The residents of the town were content. They never thought it could be different. Then something happened in Scoopville. A new invention came to town. Suddenly, everyone can make their own ice cream for only a few dollars. This changed everything. The Smiths decided to make pineapple ice cream. The Joneses made ice cream with pecans. Soon, every kind of ice cream imaginable was being made by Scoopville's residents at very little cost. Of course, some ice cream was more popular than others, and that was okay. Sylvia's pickle ice cream had a very small but loyal following. That was fine. She only needed enough income to buy ingredients for her next batch. Jarrett's red velvet ice cream became so famous, he created his own store. Over time, people started to think differently about ice cream. It didn't always come from a factory. It also came from friends and neighbors. It became something to share, something to bring people together, something to celebrate. Big Ice Cream Company still made the best vanilla around, and to their surprise, demand even grew. But it was the unique, original, and authentic flavors made by the residents that brought people to Scoopville. When they arrived, however, there seemed to be a problem. There were too many flavors. Visitors felt overwhelmed. They needed ways to find the new, the popular, the flavors that were interesting to them. Franklin had an idea for his ice cream. Outside his house, he erected a board and invited his customers to share their thoughts on his ice cream. They could use words to describe it, stars to rate it, and leave messages for others. People loved it. At a glance, visitors could tell what his ice cream was all about and learn from people like them. Over time, each resident had their own board. Sylvia's board showed that her pickle ice cream didn't please everyone, but was very unique and interesting. Jarrett's board overflowed with positive reviews and ratings. Soon, a few things became clear. First, their ice cream got better because they could learn directly from customers. Second, free customer reviews were more valuable than costly advertising. And third, the boards created a way for customers to find exactly what they wanted. The combination of new technology and new ways to work with customers helped the residents feel like a unique community. So, this is social ice cream, by the people, for the people. It turns out that ice cream and social media have a lot in common. Today, everyone has a chance to make their own flavors, thanks to free tools like blogs, podcasts, and video sharing. Plus, we now have new ways for real people to play a role in providing feedback, organization, and promotion. Whether you're a big, established company, an individual with loyal fans, or simply someone with ideas and opinions, social media means new opportunities to create and communicate with people that care. New tools are arriving in cities and towns around the world. When this change comes to your neighborhood, the choice is yours. What flavors will you make? I'm Lee Lefevre, and this has been Social Media in Plain English on the Common Craft Show. One more thing. The Common Craft store now offers downloadable versions of our videos for use in the workplace. Find them at commoncraft.com/store.
Yay!
Okay. Now, when you think about social media, a whole lot of you here are here to find out how to use social media, in business aspects. Now, when you think about the first thing you think about business, one of the most important aspects of it is to build a brand. How do you help? How do you use social media to build your brand? Well, building a brand is very important. If you just think of like certain words, like if I say "just do it," or if I even just say "I'm loving it" or something like that, certain images already popping here. You already know I'm probably already talking about McDonald's and Nike. I mean, those are, you know, sounds or just those words that just repeated so many times, you get it. So even when you go to a website, you see a Nike swoosh, you already know that visual interaction. Well, social media actually allows you to also get maybe not quite that same level of social interaction or recognition, but it allows you to actually get a step in the game by having these different outlets and different venues where people go to your blogs that you might have your Twitter account. They're constantly seeing what you're doing. You can use Twitter, things of that sort, to help update what you have, and they can go ahead and become more familiar with what you're doing, and that's creating brand awareness right there.
So they'll start to associate maybe the things that you talk about or the different topics, or maybe even your little avatar on Twitter. They'll start associating the information that you're giving them with them. Like I mentioned Smashing Magazine before. I never heard of them before I started. I think you showed me.
Twitter. Yeah, and now you see like a big S on Twitter.
Yeah, so now when I see them, I get all excited. I know that they're the go-to for graphic and HTML tips and tricks and things like that. So they established this big brand for themselves, and they're very well known for it.
Yeah. And the more you get yourself out there, the more people automatically think of you. There's a company actually in Valparaiso, it's Evelyn Bay Coffee Company. Every time I think of drinking coffee, which I don't do that much, or if I do, decide to go get like a latte or like an iced chai tea, that's the first place I think of. I don't think about going to Starbucks. I think about going there because I have a social impact, with them. I have a kind of rapport with them. So those are the things that you want, especially, in the town of Valparaiso when it's, very community-based. Congratulations on Valparaiso for winning the Indiana Community of the Year. So, you think about that. I'm not actually from Valparaiso. I'm staying in Hobart now, and I learned that from also looking at Valpo Life on Twitter, which is also another, everybody has heard about Valpo Life? So that's another reason, if it wasn't for social media, them having their blogs and their Twitter accounts, they will have limited appeal to probably just people in Valparaiso. Now this is another way of how social media is helping increase their visibility.
By the way, she's watching right now on UStream. So
how you doing?
Say hi to her.
I'm Valpo Life.
So when you think about it, if it wasn't for that and brand awareness, if I said just do it, I would just sound like a jerk almost. It's like I'm just yelling at you, just do it. So now I'm relating to kind of a positive atmosphere instead. Also, when you look at I'll tell you guys a quick anecdote also about one of my experience with customer service through social media. Well, everybody probably has problems with the internet sometimes. I've been having a hard time. My router has been disconnecting, so when I was working on this project, I'm up here pulling stuff from the internet, and all of a sudden, my internet service just pretty much dies. I have nothing to do. I'm just sitting there looking at my computer screen and say, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to call up Nichole and Nathan so they can yell at me and tell me, I should have got this done earlier? Well, instead, I complained on Twitter. I said, Comcast is failing me.
From his phone.
Yeah, from my phone, because the G3 network was pretty good. So I'm complaining on my phone, and all of a sudden I checked back on that later, and lo and behold, Comcast actually contacts me on Twitter. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? This is kind of freaking me out. They say, what's your problem? I say, I might as well give it a try. I said, went up there and typed on my phone, which has a lot of typos sometimes. I said, my router just died on me. She said, well, what's your area code? What's your phone number? I can go ahead and check this information out for me. I'm kind of still suspicious about it. So I went up there and did a quick internet search and found out that Comcast actually has a presence on Twitter. And I'm like, that's just amazing. So from that, she actually gave me just my cell phone number, which is the account that's on there. And I'm just sitting up there, next thing you know, all the lights on my router just disappeared. They all go back. I said, uh-oh, am I in trouble? About 2 seconds later, all of them light back up. She reset, it was Comcast Bonnie actually, and actually reset my modem from there. And it was all happening in the process of less than the 20-minute wait it usually takes for Comcast customer service to get in touch with me. So that instantaneous effect was very impressive to me. It's just one of those ways to say, now every time I think about it, I just brag about it. And that's also creating brand awareness. You're saying Comcast,
Comcast really does care.
Yeah, Comcast cares. So, those are so many different ways that people use the internet.
How do you do that?
I'm assuming I actually went ahead and did some research afterwards when my beautiful Comcast internet got back on. Maybe they'll give me like free cable for plugging them a couple times. But what they do is you can do keyword searches on different Twitter, and you can also put it through a different resource. I'm not exactly sure the exact technique that they use it, but let's say if I'm a track star and you type in like maybe the company that represents me, you might. Don't you know, sometimes Google, you pull out all kind of different information. Well, they're probably doing the same search for, every time somebody's, maybe doing search on Twitter